Mexico hiking.
Okay, everybody, I'm just going to go over this run here for y'all. I mean, I've not done much narration on videos, but I figured I'd go ahead and do it for this one. This is a re-edit from an older video. I didn't like it the way I edited it. It had some kind of music with it that I wanted to get rid of and kind of get more back to the river sounds and more give y'all an idea of what this creek is all about. The name of this creek is Embudo Creek. It's in right outside Taos, New Mexico, which there's also the Taos box there, kind of close to Albuquerque, little south of Colorado, Durango area. So, you know, that gives you an idea of where this is. And the only reason I got this, I've actually never heard of this creek. And the only reason I got it is because I was on my way over in late May this year. And I got a message that said, hey, you should, I got a local there in Colorado. He messaged me and he goes, Embudo Creek might be in. Go up there. And I was like, I've never even heard of this run. So I scrambled around to try to find some locals. I didn't know anybody in the area. Apparently there's not much whitewater in the northern New Mexico area, Taos Box and Embudo, and really that's about it. So I looked this up and it looked good. So I rerouted, went down, and I had found one local, and this guy that I'm paddling with, you know, a very interesting character. I'll give you a quick story on this guy. I show up and he invites me over. He's living in a container in the side of a mountain, so just a container building. I'm like, that's kind of cool, you know, a little off-grid living. But the strangest thing was he had this big bandage on his arm and he had a hole going through his arm. And I was wondering if he could even paddle. He had told me he had just been shot with a 9mm over an argument with a neighbor over some plywood. I'm just like, wow, this is New Mexico, I guess. This was something a little wild, but he seemed to be fine. This is his backyard run, and he did tell me, he said, I paddle very fast, and not a lot of people can kind of keep up with me. I got no problems. I was training for green race and doing a lot of races during that time, and I said, we can go as fast as you want, buddy. I'm pretty good at running rivers. You don't have to give me beta above every drop and all that. So let's just go, and that's what we're doing. As you can see right here, he doesn't talk much while he's on the river. He just goes, but you know what? I like the dude. I mean, cool guy. You know, he just basically, we just blazed this run out. And just to give you some idea of this run, it's about a quarter mile to a half mile hike in. It's New Mexico. It's a little warm, but not crazy. You know, the sage out there smells amazing. We don't have any sagebrush like that in East Tennessee or Southeast in general. Not like this, and that was awesome. It just kind of like smelled so good walking in there, everybody. A little warm, but you know what? I just put my dry top and all my gear on my head inside my boat and just walked on in. The first kind of mile, maybe 2 miles, is class 2-ish, warm up, you know, nothing major. I'm kind of more in it right now, as you can see right here. And I would rate this probably 4, easy 5. I wouldn't say it's 5+. They have a 5+ on AW, but I wouldn't say it's a 5+. And, you know, there's no real rapid names. There's one called Long Rapid that they give a 5. I'm going by AW, guys. And there's Cheese Grater Falls, MJ Falls, and then Carnival Rapid. Carnival Rapid, I think, is the big one. Will be kind of close to the end. I didn't think anything was overly hard on this run, but I'm used to kind of banging on rocks like this. If you're not used to kind of hitting rocks like this could be a problem for you. Be strong in the hips, pull your strokes hard. There's a lot of overhanging ledges, as you can see right there, and a lot of these kind of angled boosts. I think he was a little shocked how easily I kept up with him. He kept turning around, and he'd glance over, and I'd be like,
that was good,
right
man.
on him. He's like,
that's a good
okay.
flow.
But then, you know, I kind of got in front a little bit. I didn't want to just bomb into rapids. Apparently, there's no problems with sieves and strainers. You know, he paddles it a lot, so it was all clear. Probably the worst thing you got to worry with on this run is maybe a broach pin, a cracked boat. That could definitely be. That's why he's paddling that Zet. He said he doesn't break Zet boats out there, and I believe him. Zet's got some strong plastic. Going into this, you know, a lot of these rapids, there's no real reason for beta. I think you could if you could boat scout and read and run a lot of these. See how you can see downstream? what I do, I just kind of like look downstream as I'm going through them, so I kind of know where to go. Little rock, I went to the left here. I kind of I got kind of jumbled up on some rocks. That's why you see that jump right there coming down. I think we're about to come into one of the major rapids, which I think they're calling maybe. Now, I really can't remember a lot of this run. You got to think I've only done it once, and it was years ago. But I remember MJ Falls was kind of stout, and Cheese Grater was not stout, but man, if you flipped in any of these rapids, it could be a bad thing to flip. So, I mean, you notice we're not upside down, I mean, ever in this run, because it would be brutal on your face, your elbows. I'm wearing elbow pads under my dry top, just so you guys know. I do have elbow pads on. They're the slip-on ones that go under the top. Under the dry suit. This is a dry suit, not a dry top. Paddling on down. I think we're coming up on the first major rapid. But as you guys can see, check out that scenery. This is something that, you know, I guess the locals, they're used to it, but I thought this was awesome. I think this is one of the major drops right here. Not really sure which one that one was. Maybe that's MJ Falls. Nice little booth there. He said that Cheese Grater Falls was a little stout. I think that's what this is, but I was able to just blast right through it. I didn't have any issues with it at all. You see, looking back, though, it's actually steeper than you think. And right here's where kind of the bulk of the gradient is. So you can tell the gradient has picked up. I wouldn't say and the gradient is steady on this run. It's not like super steep. So that's why, and actually this level is like a medium-low flow, and I could definitely see more water in here. More water would pad these out. The holes might get a little stickier, but if you're used to kind of punching through holes and going through things, I think you'd be fine. But more water, you see I'm still kind of hitting rocks a little bit. More water would pad this out. And everybody, I don't even know the flow from this day. If you're out there, you might want to try to find a local. Could you show yourself down this? I think so. If you found the put in and take out and you knew about where to go, I think you'd be fine.
Right wall at the top. Okay, and then once you get over a really shallow ledge, just look it left right in the middle.
Okay, that was he only gave me beta for like a couple of rapids, and this one apparently is like, maybe this one's Cheese Grater. Watch how we go through it. Obviously being upside down would be brutal right through here. Watch this right there. And it could flip you, because see those cross currents? That could be a problem. I still hit bottom with my paddle right there. Smooth it pretty easy. I didn't see any issues with it. More kind of the same. There's me kicking in the... I don't know what the gradient is here. I don't actually know what the full-on gradient is. I don't know if it's on American Whitewater. American Whitewater actually has 170 feet per mile, but I don't know what the elevation is there in this area, but I didn't feel like a lot of elevation personally. I love this type of style of paddling, everybody, where you're just kind of like moving fast and clean, and just kind of like, this is my jam right here. Just kind of like going down, and no real beta or anything. When we know that obviously there's nothing to really be worried about. This is the reason he gave some beta. It's kind of like a weird kind of booth into a kind of like a corner right here. Watch this right there. I could see someone having some issues with that. And then you just dodge these rocks.
Dude, that's spot on. That's so fun.
These rock walls look so cool, everybody, when you're paddling up against that rock shelf wall. Very few runs here in the south where you get that kind of feeling of being up on a rock cliff like that. The wind, you can hear it in the mics, how the wind out there was probably 30-mile-per-hour gust of wind. That's not my speed of paddling. You know, I'm paddling pretty quick, but that's not my speed. There was like these gusts of winds when you would come over these horizon lines, and it would seriously be 30 to 40-mile-per-hour gust of winds. Maybe it was just that day, I don't know, but that was kind of cool. And it's very dry. That's crazy. That rapid I don't even think has a name, but I could see that being a problem for some, you know, coming in this little section right here. It was like, you basically just kind of like bang through there. I think we're coming up on the Carnival Rapid. It's a big drop that it might be one of the stouter rapids on the entire run, in my opinion. Most of this is just bow up. Just keep your bow up, pull your stroke. See this? This is just fun, flowy stuff, everybody. This right here, just fun. Yeah, so you see,
That's fun, man.
you see all of that flowy stuff.
Get out of this eddy and charge hard right.
Now,
Charge hard right.
what the line that he wanted to do, or he suggested, was go to this eddy on the river left, and then turn and get a quick little kind of few strokes in and get a boof, and then line up to going to the right. You don't want to just come out and stay on the left wall. Apparently it's very penny and janky over there. See, this is the stoutest rapid on there, in my opinion. You keep this left-hand angle, little FU rock right there. Kind of kicks you over, but I just laid on it and just smoothed it out. Obviously, you don't want to be against that right wall, and then it could be, you know, not fun. How about that?
Woo! That's a good little rapid.
Pretty easy, in my opinion.
Higher water, you just come off the right
Just
side.
playing down through it.
He's talking about at higher flows, you know, it goes a little smoother, obviously, at higher flows. I could see that.
I could see that being intimidating to
Oh,
a
and
lot
I
of
could
people.
see that definitely being intimidating for most. If you're setting up there, it looked like it was more. I'm so used to paddling through slots like that it doesn't make me nervous. But I could see like some boaters getting up there and staring down in that slot, and it seriously looks like it's a boat width wide, but it's not. It actually goes better than it looks from the top. And a lot of paddlers will walk that. It's an easy portage, nothing major right there. You can easily portage around that. The rest of the run is just going to be kind of like Class 3. He wanted to get out right here.
That looks so sweet.
And show me this little seal launch and just chill out. We chilled out for a little bit right there. But yeah, that's it, everybody. That's pretty much the Embudo Creek. I don't see anything else that I would have done different on here. You know, obviously more water makes it a little better. The put in and take out's very easy to find. It's just a more of this kind of class 3, 4-ish run out. I wouldn't even say it's 4. I'd say it's 3+ run out. And then you get down and the car's right there, and then that's it. The shuttle's very short. I remember it being a short shuttle. You can get right back to the top, and you can actually lap this. Apparently, you could sit out here and lap this run several times if you got the stamina. But you know what? When I'm over there, I try not to just stay on one run. I want to try to get multiple runs in. We're doing the Taos box next. So we're doing this, and then we're going down to the Taos box, and that's on the, I think that's on the Colorado River or Rio Grande or something. I don't know, but Yeah, there it is, everybody. That's the Embudo Creek.
Oh, thanks. Curbside. Happy?
Yeah, me too.
Fuck yeah. Thanks for showing me down it.
Fucking fun, dude.
Dude, that was good bomb level.
We're gonna fucking have a good time tomorrow. It'll be nice and juicy. Get away from some Mech.